That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. It's another Tuesday night, and you're just kicking back with an adult beverage to watch some Just Giggle It sketches. But wait, you say, hold on a second, charming announcer voice guy. It's not Tuesday night at all. Well, that was a test, audience, and you passed. Welcome to a late edition of the Just Giggle It Grab Bag. How you doing, Dragon?
I'm well.
You know, I'm trying to make these, the grab bags in particular, I've told you this before, but I'm trying to make them as much like a late night talk show radio as I can. That's kind of my goal with those intros.
But as I'm sure Joshua Thomas would appreciate, you're no Fraser Crane, sir.
Well, I try to be Brad Jones, Dragon. Would you like a picture of my pet cat, Lloyd?
Maybe next time.
All right. So yes, folks, we're a couple days behind on this. I apologize, but we are getting to Just Giggle It Grab Bag number 9. Tonight, we're going to be covering My Two Brothers, which is a requested review. And we're also going to be covering the, Monsters DrInc, which is kind of a loose parody of Pixar's Monsters, Inc., of course.
You know, Honor of Incredibles 2 coming out this month. Yes. You know, a little Pixar parody of all things.
Before we start, Dragon, I have one really, really, really important question for you, all right?
What is it?
Are you ready?
I think I am.
All right. Are you a co-op?
Are you a cop?
Are you a co-op?
Are you a cop?
Are you a co-op? All right.
Are you a cop?
So folks, you can tell that Dragon and I have kind of not gotten that "Are you a cop" thing out of our system yet. Oh God, go back and watch Grab Bag number 8, folks, if you want to know the context behind that.
Apparently, Brian Wiley, he agrees that he enjoys your "Are you a cop?
Are you a co-op?"
Either that or he's being very polite. Either way is appreciated.
Okay, so Dragon, tonight, like I said, we're talking about 2 reviews, 2 sketches from the good folks at Just Giggle It. Just Giggle It, of course, being the great comedic minds behind the excellent web series Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, where we found these guys.
Yes. Sorry, one moment.
Yeah. So we have a link in the description, folks, not just to the 2 sketches that we're going to be talking about tonight, but also to episode 5 of Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World. This is really important, folks. This is the episode that needs your attention. It needs your love, because if it gets to a million views, then we're going to get an episode 6. So watch the whole series, but importantly, just watch episode 5. Just binge episode 5. It's a good time.
All right, so we ready to dive right into our first fine sketch this evening?
I think I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's talk My Two Brothers.
All right, My Two Brothers. So, importantly, folks, Joshua Thomas himself actually told us that this was something that someone requested. I believe they requested it on his channel, on the Just Giggle It channel. So, yeah.
No, go on.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I've looked high and low. I have not been able to find who did the request itself, or else we'd be more than happy to give you a shout out. But if you are that person who wanted to hear us talk about this, then by all means, leave your name in the comment, and we will shout you out in the next one.
Swear to God, folks, we looked high and low for this guy. We could not find him, but if he's out there, just know give us a shout out, say thank you, and by all means we will shout you out even more so in the next episode. By all means, like, hey, you talked about my thing. We're gonna say, oh yes, and this guy right here, he is this guy or girl who we don't know. We're not sure.
We'll praise you more than Henry Pringle praises George Clooney.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so, Dragon, Two Brothers. Any background on this you want to get to?
So My Two Brothers is the 14th Just Giggle It sketch, is directed, written, and edited, no surprise here, by Joshua Thomas, who was also in this sketch. And we do have a lot of familiar players this time around because, of course, we have Nicole Stone, the girl who delivered a wonderful performance in One Night Stand. You know, that is the One Night Stand in question. Again, Joshua Thomas and the great Mark Sipka. Again, very much kind of the guy who patented the phrase "another Joshua Thomas grand slam."
This guy is also kind of like growing in his exposure on the grab bag. He's kind of becoming another Poncio in his own right.
I told you from the beginning, Sipka. You know, I primarily knew him from the Making a Murderer parody, but I mean, again, he's a big staple of Just Giggle. He's kind of one of their go-tos from the Nia Laugh. Calling Sipka. So I mean, again, Sipka and Poncio, they're kind of the big. They're the cannons of the Just Giggle It army. Like, okay, bring in the big guns. Poncio. It's like when you ever used to have like, remember like the bombers used to have like a painted design on them that has like a name or like a nickname or something. In this case, it's bring in Poncio, bring in Sitka.
All right, Dragon. So somewhere in a small town.
Yeah, somewhere in a small town, we have Carol. Carol's on the phone, on her cell phone with her boyfriend. Talking about going over her boyfriends for a visit, yet she is interrupted by her two very loving and overprotective brothers.
And Dragon, this cut is like a classic Just Giggle It cut. Like, I feel like this is like Just Giggle It's wheelhouse right here. You know, because what we do is we see kind of like the wide shot of her in the chair. Then we get this great edit of kind of the close-up of her. We see her face kind of like twinge a little bit. We're like, Henry, let me call you back. And then we zoom out, we go back to the wide shot, and we see what you're looking at right here, folks. We see these two very intimidating, very pissed off looking brothers just staring down poor Carol.
Yeah, we must say, by the way, real quick, Joshua Thomas, his editing style is something I always love to praise when we can, because he does such a great job. And more often, like I want to say 8 or 9 times out of 10, usually Joshua Thomas is doing the editing. Not always, but for the most part. And I believe he's very proud of it too. And I can't blame him, because I'd be praising myself too if I could edit that good. But my point is, he has an edit here that I did recognize from Harley Quinn the Joker episode 5, and it's kind of I see kind of a style in his editing. We'll get there when we get there. But let's just say again, this episode is rife with kind of some good editing stuff that we've seen in other places. Again, probably one of the best edited sketches that we've seen.
I feel like for that reason, I feel like this sketch is almost like a quintessential Just Giggle It sketch, because it very much encapsulates a lot of their style into one concept.
Quintessential in timing and performance, absolutely. And again, the one I was referring to, One Night Stand is still probably one of the best. I guess One Night Stand and the Twilight Zone parody, probably the best edited of the Just Giggle It sketches to date so far for us. But again, this is another one that could give it a run for its money. It's really well put together. Okay, so anyways, the brothers interrupt, one little smarter than the other here. What we have with Sipka, kind of the the overall clad brother, and Joshua Thomas as kind of the very definitely a fan of Marty McFly with the life preserver vest.
Oh my God.
And that's going to pay off, folks. I was thinking that the first time I was watching, because whenever you see a vest, especially like one like that, you're a part of your mind's thinking Marty McFly. And I love how that comes into the picture later on. So, folks, it's a simple premise. Overprotective brothers. But again, what sets this out over the rest is that performance in timing. They're key in this sketch. Otherwise, a sketch, it's like it's clear cut. It's like, it's like, okay, we've seen this 100 times before. Oh, the overprotective brothers who mean well. I mean, it's like it's a sitcom premise we've seen 80 times. But thankfully, Just Giggle takes it a different way. So we have the music in this episode, and again, Just Giggle remarkably after a couple episodes now. This first season for us on the grab bag. We have noted that they have really excellent taste in music. I don't mean just in general. I mean taste in music for their sketches, because we use "In the Hall of the Mountain King" as our background theme.
Yes, of course, Dragon. You know where my favorite use of this song is.
Well, certainly.
The Social Network.
Oh, I was thinking something else, but okay, that makes better. More sense.
No. The Social Network is the best use of this song.
You're right; it does use it well.
But this is also a very good use of it. Don't get me wrong. Not trying to underplay it.
I mean, it's a great theme period too. I just really like In the Hall of Mountain King. So I was like, oh yeah, they're using this. That's a good choice. I've seen it. I think most recently I just was rewatching. I believe it's in Bowling for Columbine, the Michael Moore documentary.
Oh yeah, it's definitely in Bowling for Columbine. Yeah,
that's the thing because I love that. Again, I just love how put together that movie is. Anyway, so point is, so the reason we use in Hold the Mountain King, I summarize, is that they're trying to build the back and forth and the timing in the sketch, and I think it complements what they're doing very well. And again, it's like, I don't know if it's sort of like the metronome. It's like they have like a metronome in the scenes, kind of helping them keep time. That's kind of what the music does. So it is the timing is still there in the performance, but again, like it's like all coming together. Like the music is the cherry on top. It's like it's the sousson. It's like what you need to make it sing, you know.
Uh-huh.
Right. So Sipka, in terms of delivery, I think Sipka's the MVP. So Sipka nails his delivery of the dumb yet good-hearted brother here, and they're playing kind of Southern good cop bad cop as brothers here. That's another big selling point of this.
Uh-huh.
So Tiki, let's start us off here. So how does this
back, Carol? It's none of your business. Well, of course it's none of our business. You're our sister, so we make it our business.
So I'm sorry, it's just really funny, folks. I'm trying to keep straight here. So they're asking, who is she reveals that it's a guy and says, why I always get like this all the guys I date? It's because they're all dummies. He's just a friend. And of course, like it's like the minute she says it,
it's like, oh yeah, I'd love to meet a friend. Wouldn't you, Jimmy? Oh yeah, me too. I would just love to meet a friend.
And that's this really good cop, bad cop of it all. This right here, where again they're in such sync with each other, and again, this is really good writing on this back and forth. So
you know what the back and forth writing reminds me of? It reminds me of Jackie in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you're right, and of course the same performance as Jackie makes all sense.
Yeah. Kind of the same style of like like one-upping each other and elevating the situation with each beat.
Yeah. Of course, as we get further down the grab bay, I'm sure we're going to see more examples of Sipka and Thomas just kind of having this chemistry and this back and forth between them. So far, it's like kind of two in the can right now. It's like that's right on the money. All right, let's see. Also, now I will say, as much as we're praising the writing and the back and forth and everything, there is one fault I found in the writing on this. Just one. I feel that when they in the beginning here, where she says it's just a friend, then she brings up the point of like, why you get like this with any guy I want to date. In that moment, she kind of gives away what she's been trying to hide. It just feels kind of fruitless, where she says, she's dating someone, because it just basically it's her saying, hey, I wasn't talking to anyone I was dating, but actually I am. That's kind of what she's saying in this scene.
I hear you.
Again, just
it's a little writing speed bump. Give it a pass.
I'm going to give it a pass. I just wanted to highlight there, just to see how these guys grow. And this early on, we have a little bump like this, and of course later on we get to like perfection of something like the recent parody Tiki, the horror movie. Yes, A Quiet Place. Yes.
Because nothing can be more perfect than a well-executed fart joke.
Seriously, folks, like one of the most well-executed fart jokes you've seen in a long time. All right, so Tiki, what is this?
The only thing that would have made that parody better is the thing that they were actually going to film that I suggested, which was the sister giving Poncio the can opener.
Right. I still like my read on it, that it's like it's an act of suicide. I can't take it anymore. Because Poncio delivered. Anyway, we're getting off track of Poncio right now.
Yeah. We'll talk about Poncio more in a bit.
Oh, yes. So, what is this young man's name that Carol is courting over the phone?
He's Henry Pringle.
Henry. She says it nervously.
Henry Pringle. Not Henry, just Henry.
I love Nicole Stone's delivery of not Henry. No, sorry, not Henry, just Henry. I love she has this great Southern belle. Like if they ever do like an X-Men parody, she has to play Rogue.
Oh God, I don't disagree.
She had this lovely Southern. I just love the way. Honestly, again, like I think Sipka's the MVP, but everyone is just delivering really well on this. So anyway, so Jimmy's asking. So Jimmy's asking the smart questions, and Rick.
Nice? Super nice.
Does he have a?
Does he take you to fine establishments?
No, I love what's so great about this. I love Rick is the dumb bro, and that's Sipka. And basically, as Thomas is asking all the smart questions, he needs a little help, and that's where Thomas kind of helps him out here. Where it says, "Does he own a sport coat?" And they're kind of looking at each other like, "What?" And then of course he realizes, no, he's trying to ask this question. Like he taps on the shoulder, like, "No, ask it this way." They're saying, "Does he take it to fine establishments?" He's getting frustrated with him. It feels, honestly, that bit in the whole thing I really want to highlight. It feels the most vaudevillian Abbott and Costello-esque out of the whole thing. Of like, Lou Costello-esque, and Abbott's like hitting him on the back. And they're like, "No, ask it this way." You go. Anyway, so let's see. So Jimmy and oh, good. So Jimmy.
So then Joshua Thomas comes in and he's like, "And hold the door open for you."
So Jimmy is definitely, and Josh Thomas is definitely conveying the responsible, loving brother in the in his body language and everything in this. Like, I love he has like the arms folded and everything. He's the guy who's in control here, and of course just the visual kind of overall and versus the vest. Or the vest is like slightly more professional, and the overalls is just like more kind of like, he's all heart and no head. That's kind of where it is. So then we have the pickle jar.
Can he open a summer jar of pickles?
Two things. One, because his name's Rick, Pickle Rick.
Oh,
secondly, this is the cut I was talking about to you. This is the edit I really wanted to linger on, is because this edit here, when he asked that pickle jar question, was cut to him randomly holding a pickle jar. Now that's the edit like we have in episode 5, Harley Quinn the Joker. We're starting to break the fourth wall a little. Basically, with Joker and Harley in L.A., they're starting to kind of make the world around them bend a little more, like it did in the second episode with the construction uniforms. Where basically they're kind of Harley, like in a split second, almost like a Looney Tunes, or like a Bugs Bunny, like she's in like the schoolgirl outfit. Like, is this going to be on the quiz? It's like a breaking reality cut like that. And we have that timing here with the pickle jar, so it's like, yeah, it's where one of the origin places. Yes. All right, so after the visual, so again, as all this is going on, by the way, again, as the music ramps up, and here's my real question. If the folks just can answer, this is my big question for this sketch, though. Did they write this with the music in mind? So, like, did they work out their timing with the music as like their guide point for this, or did they just kind of luck into that in the editing afterwards?
All right, so my favorite bit is he associated with the potato chip brand Pringles?
Now, I love that he delivers that so straightly too. It's like it's getting really intense, and then he's is he in any way associated with the brand of Pringles? It's like the one smart
like Pringles.
And we get to that exactly. Is he like Pringles?
Is
he married?
And then of course we get Jimmy, coming back with the good cop. Does he have a good job? Is he married?
Of course, then with the dumb question is, what's his favorite color? Does he have kids?
Better not be blue, because it's my favorite color.
How many dates has been on? And of course, here you hit him with Sipka. Sipka had one of the best lines here.
What's his favorite actor to ever play Batman? Better not be Clooney.
Okay, we're going to have something to say about that one coming up.
So, folks, of course, you can tell we're just in love with the dialogue in this sketch, mostly. But then, oh god, I love this delivery. Henry Pringle, I want to punch him right in the mouth.
Okay.
And then Joshua Thomas comes in though with the most intense line of the whole thing.
Okay, hold on, you're gonna have yourself. Two things. Okay, one, we gotta hit on like the Just Giggle signature here, where again we build momentum, like we turn the dial up to 11 progressively as it goes on. And instead of taking it to a dark place, we take it to we take it ultimately to an ambiguously sinister place, but really it's not dark. It's just we keep ramping up to more absurd at the matchup of the music here, where then we're getting like, if you were in the Civil War, would you fight for the North or the South? And then Joshua Thomas comes in with this one.
Has he touched you? Where I said no one should ever touch you?
No one should have.
On Thomas's face at that moment, he's like, it's really focused in on him.
You can tell he's like a line away from breaking entirely with the way he delivers it. Like I've been there where you're doing a voice or so, something you think is funny, and like you start to almost tear up because you're about to break. It's like you get a sense like, did he touch you when I said no one should ever touch you?
What is it, woman? Yankee or Confederate?
So then Carol, she stands up for herself. Yay, Carol. She stands up for herself.
He's a good guy.
Which is nice. In other words, Tiki, he's a nice man.
Nice man.
Thankfully, no one loses their lunches here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's an obscure Bates Motel reference for the folks out there. Anyway,
Sure that the good folks that just giggle it appreciate our podcasted jokes, Dragon.
Anyway, so basically, we see they're definitely both crazy and overprotective. Rick, and she points out that Rick, you're just asking the most outrageous questions.
Right.
So right here is where I think they hit the perfect balance right here, Tiki. Is that we capture the sweetness in the insanity with the sheepish brothers, like kind of almost like if they're kicking like an imaginary rock or can in the scene, like all ashamed. It's like here's an obscure comparison, all right? It's like the magician when he's caught in the Frosty the Snowman Christmas special. Remember, it's like, oh, that's no fair. Just that random can's there, and just he kicks it because he's feeling all sheepish and like, oh, I'm so ashamed. It's like a moment like that almost. Anyway, so
we're just trying to look out for you, Carol. Yeah, we love you, Carol.
And she says that she loves him, and just they need to trust her. And, he's a good guy. He builds model trains, and
Dragon, upon rewatch, that builds model train things kills me because it's like she uses that as the ultimate stamp of like he's a great guy.
Now
it's like you know what, Dragon? Walt Disney built model trains. God damn it! Like Walt Disney is on the same caliber as Mr. Henry Pringle.
I'm just going to ask, again, I'm not posing this to, I'm going to pose this directly to the folks that just giggle it. Because, it's like a 1 in a million shot that this one might actually be true. Is this a reference to Sheldon at all? Because, Sheldon is like a known model train builder from the Big Bang Theory. Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory.
Ooh.
That's what, just for the record, by the way, that Young Sheldon show, I know it sounded like the worst idea in the world.
But
my God, you are petty this evening. You know that? You are. Okay, my point is that the spin-off show is remarkably good. I mean, I kid you not.
Remarkably good. That's the word that... No, I refuse to believe that. No.
Oh, you're just petty.
No. Like, I'll believe it if you say, like, yeah, it's good. It's watchable.
I'm saying for an idea that's
theory, but no, you can't tell me it's remarkably good.
I'm saying comparatively it is remarkably good. So an idea that sounds like the worst, most cash-in idea ever, it's remarkably good for being that.
All right, well, I don't want to turn this into a
okay, my point is I'm saying the model train thing, I don't know if it's a Big Bang Theory pull or not. Maybe. Right. You never know. Anyway,
I am not a Big Bang Theory fan.
I think folks gathered that. Anyway.
Sheldon Cooper can suck it.
I got you. Anyway, so
I hate that man. I hate that man, Dragon.
Again, I've told you those early seasons are rough, but everything got better. Anyway.
All right.
Okay, that's getting back on point with the actual good part of the model trains here. Oh yes, this is lovely. Here, what happens? So Jimmy, basically the brothers are going to find like a silver lining with the model train.
Oh, you mean he built a Back to the Future time machine train?
I love that train, by the way. The time travel train from.
I saw it in person at Universal Studios, Dragon.
I've also seen it in person.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then they walk away singing "Power of Love."
It's just nice, so delightful, and so charming.
Power of love.
And by the way, I love that when they're mentioning Martin McFly, Jimmy, he's like showing off his vest because yeah, Martin McFly, just like this, without spelling it out, but just visually kind of gestating it.
Delightful.
All right, so they're sold. They're distracted. More importantly, with the power of love. Meanwhile, Carol, she calls Henry now. I'm of the mindset, I don't think Carol knows this, but it would be more interesting if Carol knew this and she sold her brothers on the guy with a lie. That's the more interesting route. I'm unsure which route we kind of were taking here, but...
I think it's meant to be a little bit ambiguous, and I like that.
That's good. So, we have the big reveal shot here, and this is very well directed, like a good pan to reveal reveal things. Basically, as she's calling Henry to finish up the conversation they were interrupted about visiting, we reveal a few things. One, cans of Pringles. He did like Pringles. Then the most important one for me, we see a clip of Batman and Robin playing.
We actually see like one of the more profound clips in the movie.
I know, but I used
like Alfred is talking about like what it means to be Batman and like the symbolism of Batman.
No, seriously, I was like, here's the thing. I don't know if they used the. I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt here. I'm gonna say that they intentionally used one of the few really good scenes from Batman and Robin.
Oh,
seriously, that is one of them.
Just for the record, I am definitely one of those people who finds a lot of like so bad it's good enjoyment out of Batman and Robin.
I mean, again, like the best element of Batman and Robin is that Alfred plot line. I mean, the whole Alfred dying element that's like kind of has a resonance and kind of opens Anyway, I'm going to get on with Batman and Robin tangent. The point is, like they use that scene. I don't know if it's just because it's like one of the few scenes where you see Clooney outside of the Bat cowl, or if it's because I get a sense they used it to. And give them the benefit of the doubt here. They used that scene, one of the really good scenes, to showcase that, you know what, even if he did like Clooney, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world.
Exactly.
All right, anyway, so
Dragon, something a little more unforgivable. He's got a copy of Ocean's 12.
Yeah, more for the original 60s version myself.
Now, what I love about this, Dragon, if it was Ocean's 11 or even Ocean's 13, I would like be totally fine. But I love that it's Ocean's 12 in particular. Because, Ocean's 11, it's like a good kind of like remake heist movie, and then Ocean's 13 has the Pacino. I actually enjoy Ocean's 13 the most out of the three because of Pacino.
Yeah, I forgot.
But yeah, Ocean's 12 is just the whole blob of nothing.
All right, so then we reveal a giant Confederate flag behind him. And by the way, him in question, Henry Pringle, is played by Brian Webb. Played by Brian Wiley.
Yep.
So with a Confederate flag, the giant, like almost General Lee-sized Confederate flag behind him, he says, "So Carol, you were saying something about coming over," and of course, as that moment happens, we hear the big swell as that dun, 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 from the In the Hole of the Mountain King song. It's a perfect little note to end that on. All right, so final thoughts. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, this is probably in my top 5 of the ones that we've covered so far. I really love it. I think that it's got some really, really, really sharp timing on it. I love how it eventually turns into like a sweet, like, siblings should just get along and like kind of try and find common ground with each other. I think it's classic Just Giggle It in terms of like kind of ramping up the humor, but then finding an even middle ground. And yeah, it's really well executed, really well delivered. It's got some great twists in there. Loved it.
All right. For me, the performances absolutely make this. We got some really performance-heavy sketches tonight. Again, it's an old-school joke with the Just Giggle It kind of execution and flair. Again, kind of that dialing up to 11 kind of signature. Again, it's got this great Southern charm. It's really well edited, well timed, and again, it has a lot of love and a lot of laughs. I think it's really good. It's real earnest in its approach, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
All right. Again, My Two Brothers. Very, very good. All right, let's get to our parody of the evening. Monsters DrInc.
Starring the great Alex Ponciooooooo.
And not to undersell her, of course, the wonderful Piper Hinson in a brief role.
Of course. All right. Yeah, this is kind of a horse of a different color.
Yeah, and this is one that definitely speaks to something we can highlight with the grab bag is kind of the growth and evolution of Just Giggle It. So Monsters DrInc is, I believe, their 11th sketch. It's directed by...
not the amazingly excitable Spider-Man.
I'm aware of that, Tiki. Yes. Anyway, so this is directed by Joshua Thomas and is written by not just Joshua Thomas, but Joshua Thomas and Poncio. Alex Ponciooooooo co-wrote this. Poncio! Yeah, he co-wrote this, and Josh Thomas, he edited this. And we do have some good editing standout moments here, too. So, of course, it's pretty much a clear-cut, Pixar parody, in a loose sense. Basically, it's like I wish this kind of missed opportunity with this. I don't know. I want to say just because early on they weren't really thinking this way. Perhaps Teague and I, we've spoken to kind of that robot chicken quality with kind of the search engine of Just Giggle It. And you imagine if someone typed in Monsters DrInc, what you could do is you could show them like like an autocorrect screwing them up, or like they misspell ink somehow.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying, like something, like a few times, it's just like okay, just a topic gets them this, and I could buy that. But sometimes, just like literally the episode name. So again, they're kind of iffy on. They never fully committed. And I feel if they did, then they'd be more accurate with that. But again, that's probably wasn't their intention from the get go. So again, I have no idea. Anyways, a little small little observation. Okay, so I guess you want to just dive right into it.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Okay, so again, folks, it's kind of a simple pun spelling gag on the whole mind for comedy. It feels very short and kind of plays as very short. So we start with the Randy Newman music from the Randy Newman theme for Monsters Inc. As the as the Monsters Inc. logo, but a parodied version of which I believe has a bloodshot eye. I wasn't quite sure what the was. I presumed a bloodshot eye and a bottle for the eye and drink. So we use again. This shows you how early on they are, and again, it's bear in mind it's also like a really getting an exterior shot. I could imagine would be very difficult. But basically, what we have here is I believe a still image sold as an exterior shot of the location. We see a young Mark Sitka.
Yes, an adorable little kid.
Yes, as James, James, he's kissed goodnight by his mother, played by the wonderful Piper Henson, who again, a very minimal role. She she sells the kind of the motherly kind of.
Actually, now that I think about it, My Two Brothers is one of the few sketches we've talked about where she doesn't make an appearance.
That's true. Let's see. All right, so as
is asking to leave the light on for the monsters.
To ward off the monsters, and she says, "Oh, don't be silly. And besides, you have your nightlight," which of course we're going to see has no effect whatsoever. And so again, this is now we have here are the shots of the editing I'm talking about here. Like this moment here, I really love how he sold this moment here. And then basically, then we have the big turning point of the sketch. It's either going to make or break the whole thing, but. I love the insert of the light switch. Basically, we kind of almost sell it like a horror movie in the editing for this moment here, where basically she hits the light switch. We have like a quick, unforgiving, swift edit and insert of light up close shot of the light switch, switched off. Door slams, it's like the door closes, but kind of abruptly, and you see James kind of thrown off a little by it, and the guy's trying to get the sleep. Like almost the room almost shakes. As basically you see like light and swirling effects come from the closet door, which in this case is a slide away door. Which in Monsters Inc. we did see a variety of doors. Just saying, it definitely feels like a budgetary constraint, though. I will say.
I don't mind it because I think the flashing lights are an impressive effect on their own.
I'll give you that. So again, I'm not taking off any points. But again, the slide because we had those all over Monsters Inc. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. So,
for the record, I love the teaser trailer for Monsters Inc. I think that's one of the Pixar teaser trailers.
We need more Pixar teasers like we used to get. Because remember, we had the incredible.
I know, man. I miss them so much.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Dave. I'm just going to think back on the spot here. I want to say Cars might have had the last one of those.
No, not even Cars, because Cars was just the first trailer was like, "Hey, look, it's a NASCAR movie, and there's Larry the Cable Guy."
No, Cars had one where it was they were driving and then I killed a little bumblebee and like all the flies.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So I mean, short of like that little introduction to Toy Story 3, like, hey, look, a little sign. We made the Toy Story 3 sign. Aside from that, I can't really think of anything else between those two.
Like WALL-E was kind of like that, but with WALL-E, you also had the whole, the famous lunch thing in that trailer.
Yeah, you're right. Again, it's kind of boarding outside of that. So
anyway, the Incredibles trailer with Jack, the Incredibles 2 trailer was kind of like that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. All right.
Anyway,
getting back on
Pixar trailer talk. Awesome.
Again, half the reason we picked this one is for Pixar, so we might as well talk a little bit about Pixar anyway.
I'm so stoked for Incredibles 2.
Me too. I'm getting ready to again binge through the whole DVD, watch all the bonus features, getting ready for. I'm gonna be there for it, man.
All right.
Be there. Okay. Let's see. Getting back on point again. Swirling door effect looks really nice. So basically, now what's really cool and clever about this, I want to give points to the writing here, assuming this is the genesis of all this here. I'd like to think that basically they use the setup of the simulator opening from Monsters Inc., where we have the kid being put to bed and have kind of that blue effect on basically the same similar lighting in the room. It's basically what if the simulator kid, the sim kid, what if he was real?
Right.
Essentially, what would that scene look like? What if we had a bad scare? Basically, it's like, what if we took like a bad scare that is not a training simulator? We took a bad scare in real life, but we didn't play like apocalyptic. So this is sorry, I'm trying to think how the best to describe this here. So yeah, after we have really well directed in terms of like the closet door and everything, all the light effects and everything.
I think the closet and the lights and stuff are all very, very well directed, good effects. Dragon, let's kind of call a spade here, and the costume design in
absolutely
needs help.
So, exactly. Now look, let's cut him a little bit of a break here. Again, this is early. Yeah, Barrett. This is towards the very beginning. This is the biggest complaint I'd have here. Just something to bear in mind is that this is no Disney princess. We talked about the Disney princess.
Yeah, I mean, I keep going back to Disney princes, and Poncio's beast getup is just so much more impressive than anything in this.
And again, like as much as we should take points off for the costuming here, that's they improved on it, so at least that happened.
I mean, basically what we're getting at is it kind of makes, because this is a really fun premise, I almost kind of want to see them remake it or do a continuation of it or something.
Exactly. I mean, again, here's the thing. I love the comedy in this. The comedy in this is fun. The premise is fine. Everything's fine here. But again, the look takes me out of it, and that's a problem.
Mm.
So, yeah, Poncio, so here's the initially, I just thought the very first time I watched it, like a while ago, I rewatched it for this, but I mean, I remember I'd seen this one before because, of course, the Pixar, well, I had to check it out. Poncio, I thought it was just Poncio in a hula skirt. It looks like a work function that he came, like a hula, like a luau or something. And, but no, that was supposed to be like his Sully fur in a way, like kind of his monster look. Because we see it a little later on. He does actually have some neat face paint, but by no means any like.
Yeah, he's got some face paint, but that's about it. And
I don't even know if he has fangs. That's the thing. If he had, I always imagined that he had fangs, but I think it might have been the face paint that maybe made me think of that. I don't know.
I think the problem with the face paint is that the lighting doesn't really show it off that well.
I know that's a big problem too. Again, the lighting's great, but again, if we don't have we need monstrous features that aren't painted on. That's the issue. Yeah. Even if they're not like amazing, we just need something that's going to stand out in silhouette almost. Like that's where you. Anyway, okay. So Poncio in a hula skirt, he plays Leroy. So Leroy is delightful though. Sorry.
Does he play Leroy Jenkins?
No, Tiki doesn't play Leroy.
You know who Leroy Jenkins is, Dragon?
It really sounds familiar. I don't know why.
This is a litmus test on your pop culture knowledge.
I've heard that name, but I don't know what it is.
Leroy Jenkins. Does that ring a bell?
God, that sounds so familiar. I'm blanking on it.
It's a World of Warcraft meme.
Huh.
Anyways, I don't want to bore you with the details.
Yeah, definitely. I'd probably.
I don't play World of Warcraft, so I hardly get it myself. But
that's no. I've heard someone probably quote the meme, but I've never.
Probably.
I got nothing. That's it. If anything, that's the only time I've ever heard. Once, I swear. Okay.
It's just, I'm sorry. Whenever I see the name Leroy, I just that instantly springs to mind.
I keep thinking of Leroy and Stitch from the big kind of TV movie send off to Lilo and Stitch. It was the big,
especially because in that meme there is someone who actually says verbatim, "Damn it, Leroy." All right. Of
course, I also think I know you talk to Leroy, which I think is from National Lampoon's Vacation. That my cousin Leroy's on the corner. We'll roll him up scene. Anyway, so okay, so he's getting so Poncio he comes in as Leroy, and basically this monster who is so he's drunk as a skunk.
Boo! Are you scared? Boo!
So Poncio, performance-wise, he is nailing this.
Performance-wise, he's awesome. Yeah, as always.
So he's passed out. He's just, whoa, are you scared?
Whoa.
Oh, God. So a very feeble scare attempt. And I get my headcanon for what happened here, by the way, is that here's my little headcanon. Again, it's probably inaccurate, but here's what I imagined happened.
Okay.
I imagine these guys probably do work at Monsters Incorporated, but this like off the clock, and as we learn, Leroy, his wife has committed a monster adultery on him, and or monultery, I guess. Anyway, the point is, his wife has walked out on, and his buddy has been consoling him at a bar, and then basically Leroy's like, like, you know what? Let's just go to work. And he's going to work, and it's almost like that scene from Family Guy where they hang out in the brewery after they get drunk and they hang out in the brewery. So it's like they snuck onto the premises of the workplace.
Okay, my headcanon is that the argument he had with his wife was that he was a lousy scarer.
Oh,
like, you know what? I'll show her.
I like that one. That's even better than mine. I love that. I want that to be the case.
So that's why he's like trying to scare the kid. He's like, "Are you scared?"
Oh my god, that's great. Okay, anyways, maybe they can settle the argument. I don't know, but I love that version. That's my new headcanon. I like that better. Okay, so
by the way, Dragon, just today I saw something ridiculous on the wild world of YouTube. You want to know what it was?
What was it?
A trailer for Call Me By Your Name using only clips of Monsters University.
Really?
Yes, it was amazing.
That sounds bizarre.
It works way better than you would think.
Well, there might have like a whole playlist dedicated to mashups and recuts. So
I mean, just think of Army Hammer as just think of Sully and Army Hammer, and it works.
Yeah, I can see it. All right. Anyway, so Ponciooooooo is
passed. By the way, have you?
Call Me By Your Name?
Yeah.
Not yet, but I definitely intend. The minute it's available to me, I'll check it out. Believe me.
Okay, cool.
Right, so another MVP in this. Again, this is a guy who kind of sells me on the comment. Don't run Ponciooooooo. He's always going to have Poncio. Oh boy. But Kerry Farlow, the fourth. Kerry Farlow, he's delivering the kind of the written comedy in this scene. There, we have delivery with Poncio. We got Kerry Farlow with kind of he's like cradling the gag in a way. So basically, he's coming in to collect his friend, and he makes the apology, and I love it. So relatable, and Sipka too. Sipka reacting to it, like giving like the nod, like, yeah, I understand, man. That killed me. I was watching through. It's like, oh my god! I missed that on my very first video on the rewatch. Like, oh my god, he's nodding with me. Perfect. Basically, he explains the situation. He makes the apology. Sorry, kid. His wife left him.
The issue with this is that he doesn't really have anything that makes him a monster.
Well, again, he has face paint too, but you can barely see it.
Oh, you see, I didn't even notice the face paint, and I've watched it several times. So
I'm saying again, that's the only thing that kills this bit, and it pains me to say it because this thing's it's on fire, it's on all cylinders. But that one, it's bear in mind the engine crashes because of that, but it's great.
So he's just he's trying to grab Leroy. He's like, "Come on, buddy," and then like you said, he's explaining the situation. Like, he had a rough night. His wife left him. I'm so sorry.
Did I scare him? Oh yeah, he's scared, all right.
No, what the word is, he's like, Poncio's just like very, very drunkenly like slurring, like, "I got the boy." Yeah, you got the boy. He's scared.
Then we have this beautiful nod by Sipka as he basically like give him a nod, give him acknowledgement. It's just, and he gives a nod, and it's that super understand. I just love I love all you can read into that nod there. Just like, yeah, it's just kind of like
Sipka is like he's terrified of monsters, but at the same time he's completely empathetic to this situation.
That's what I'm saying. I love I love the subtext on this. So
that's the Just Giggle It absurdist parody, folks, that we love. That's the Just Giggle It style.
All right, so then they're like, okay, let's go. And then what kills me too is Farlow is where he knocks out of the ballpark on here, where he's giving like the light. I'm so sorry, just like the very light apology on the way out. It's like that's great. And then we have that's our ending. It's just we're kind of left in silence, stunned. And then with the music, the Monsters Inc. music until we get the last. Again, honestly, it's like it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Maybe just he stumbled back in a little later on. Who knows? Our tag at the end is Poncio, and this is where you get the best look of the makeup, I guess. So Poncio, I don't mean to keep ragging on the makeup. It's like the only chink in the armor here, but it's noticeable. Poncio, he's in bed with the kid, and he's smiling. He's smiling at the kid.
Yep.
All right, final thoughts.
Yeah, this one was really, really funny. Like you said, it's more about the concept and the writing than it is in the actual execution. Obviously, we don't need to hit over it again. I think the main flaw of it is clearly the fact that the makeup isn't very well lit. And I think at the end of the day, they really learned their lesson with this, because everything in the Disney Prince video that we love so much is all very practical. It's all very much like, Poncio actually has like the Beast stuff like glued to his face, so it's all very physical. Other than that, I think it's a good sketch. I would maybe like to see the premise expanded on a little bit more. Like, I feel like it's over a little too quickly. It's kind of just like a blink and you miss it type sketch. But for what it is, it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad we covered it.
Right. It's an odd choice. Maybe not the best of their parodies, but it's really funny, really well conceived on the page, excellently conceived on the page. So it's a riot on the page, I'm sure. And again, it's those early years. I don't want to just knock anyone down further anymore. It's no Disney princes, but the performance is delivered, and that's the important part. So it's still a laugh, just not their best looking laugh.
Mm-hmm.
All
right. So, folks, thank you so much for watching us tonight. And again, we apologize for not getting to this on our usual Tuesday routine. We really do kind of strive for consistency with that Tuesday night lineup. But alas, so next week is going to be the final installment of the Just Giggle It grab bag for season 1. And then after that, we're not going to tell you what we're doing right away, but we will say that there definitely will be a season 2 coming out. It's not even going to be a hiatus. It's just season 2 is going to be coming out the week after season 1. But we're going to be doing something a little bit different with the format.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dragon, are you a co-op?
Are you a co-op?
Are you a co-op?
Are you a co-op?
Are you a co-op?